Welcome to Framework, the podcast that makes the NIST cybersecurity framework practical, engaging, and accessible. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business leader, or simply curious about how organizations defend against cyber threats, this series is for you. This podcast is inspired by a comprehensive guide to the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, a best-selling resource written by cybersecurity expert Dr. Jason Edwards and trusted by professionals worldwide. In each episode, we'll leverage a few insights from Jason's extensive book to dive deep into CSF 2.0, unpacking every function, category, and subcategory with real-world applications you can immediately use. If you're enjoying this episode and want to learn more, head over to cyberauthor.me to grab your copy of the book and access additional resources to enhance your cybersecurity journey. You can also visit baremetalcyber.com, where over 2 million people last year explored expert insights, articles, and practical tools across a wide range of cybersecurity topics. RS.AN-06, Recording Investigation Actions. RS.AN-06 ensures that organizations document all investigation actions related to cybersecurity incidents, creating a comprehensive record of forensic activities, analysis steps, and response decisions. This subcategory belongs to the Respond function within the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework version 2.0, emphasizing that properly recording investigation actions helps organizations establish accountability, support regulatory compliance, and refine future response strategies based on historical data. Without structured documentation, organizations risk losing critical forensic evidence, failing compliance audits, and being unable to learn from past security incidents to improve defenses. By implementing structured documentation procedures, organizations ensure that every step of a cybersecurity investigation is recorded in a centralized, auditable format. A well-defined documentation framework includes timestamps for actions taken, details of forensic analysis findings, evidence collection logs, and decision-making rationales for escalation and containment measures. Organizations that adopt automated forensic logging tools, integrate investigation documentation with security information and event management (SIEM) platforms, and enforce structured case management workflows, improve their ability to maintain accurate incident records, enhance collaboration between response teams, and meet regulatory reporting requirements. Multiple stakeholders play a role in recording investigation actions. Security Operations Center (SOC) analysts and forensic investigators are responsible for logging investigative steps, preserving digital evidence, and ensuring the completeness of forensic documentation. Compliance officers and legal teams ensure that incident investigation records meet industry regulations and legal standards for cybersecurity reporting. Business leadership and cybersecurity governance teams play a critical role in reviewing post-incident reports, using historical investigation records to refine security policies, and improving overall cyber resilience. Effective recording of investigation actions is implemented through automated case management systems, structured forensic reporting frameworks, and integrated security event documentation tools. This includes using AI-powered forensic documentation platforms to automatically log investigative activities, deploying blockchain-based audit trails to ensure the integrity of recorded actions, and maintaining centralized security incident databases for long-term analysis. Organizations that fail to implement structured documentation workflows risk losing critical forensic insights, failing to prove regulatory compliance, and struggling to detect repeating attack patterns due to incomplete investigation records. Several key terms define the recording of investigation actions and its role in cybersecurity governance. Forensic evidence logging ensures that organizations maintain detailed records of all digital evidence collected during an investigation. Chain of custody documentation ensures that organizations track the handling and transfer of evidence to preserve its integrity for potential legal proceedings. Automated case management ensures that organizations use structured platforms to log investigation steps, security findings, and response actions in a standardized format. Audit trail verification ensures that organizations maintain tamper-proof logs of investigation records to ensure accuracy and compliance with cybersecurity standards. Post-incident reporting ensures that organizations summarize investigation findings, document root causes, and record lessons learned for future cybersecurity improvements. Challenges in recording investigation actions often lead to incomplete security assessments, lack of historical incident data, and failure to meet legal and compliance obligations. One common issue is lack of centralized documentation tools, where organizations store investigation records in unstructured formats, making it difficult to track and analyze security incident histories. Another issue is failure to enforce standardized logging practices, where organizations lack policies requiring security teams to record investigation activities consistently, resulting in gaps in forensic records. Some organizations mistakenly believe that investigation documentation is only necessary for major incidents, without recognizing that even minor security events can provide valuable insights into attack trends, insider threats, and vulnerabilities within security control. When organizations implement structured documentation frameworks for recording investigation actions, they enhance cybersecurity transparency, improve regulatory compliance, and strengthen their ability to analyze past incidents for proactive defense planning. A structured investigation documentation model ensures that cybersecurity teams record and analyze security incidents systematically. Business leadership uses investigation records to refine cybersecurity strategy, and IT security teams integrate forensic documentation into incident response workflows. Organizations that adopt AI-driven forensic documentation, enforce structured investigation logging policies, and deploy continuous audit trail validation develop a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy that strengthens resilience against evolving cyber threats. Organizations that fail to properly record investigation actions face serious security, operational, and compliance risks. Without structured documentation, businesses risk losing valuable forensic insights, failing to meet regulatory requirements, and being unable to track recurring attack patterns. A common issue is poor record-keeping discipline, where security analysts fail to document key steps taken during an investigation, leading to gaps in forensic analysis and incident response reports. Another major challenge is lack of integration between forensic documentation and security operations platforms, where organizations store investigation records in isolated systems, making it difficult to correlate data across multiple incidents. By implementing structured documentation policies, organizations ensure that security teams log every investigative step, maintain detailed forensic records, and create auditable reports for future reference. A well-defined documentation process includes real-time logging of investigative actions, automated audit trails for evidence handling, and structured case management workflows that ensure all investigation details are preserved and accessible. Organizations that deploy AI-driven forensic documentation tools, integrate case management systems with security event monitoring platforms, and enforce standardized documentation policies improve their ability to analyze past incidents, refine cybersecurity response strategies, and maintain compliance with industry regulation. At the partial tier, organizations lack structured forensic documentation procedures, leading to inconsistent and incomplete record keeping. Investigation actions may be documented informally or not at all, making it difficult for security teams to review past security incidents or provide evidence for compliance audits. A small business at this level may respond to a malware infection by manually removing the threat but fail to log the steps taken, preventing them from identifying whether the attack vector was fully mitigated. At the risk-informed tier, organizations begin to establish formal documentation policies, ensuring that security teams follow structured guidelines for recording forensic investigations. However, documentation may still be inconsistent, with some investigation steps captured manually and others left undocumented due to a lack of automation. A mid-sized financial institution at this level may require incident responders to log major investigation actions, but fail to maintain an automated audit trail for evidence handling, creating gaps in forensic records. At the repeatable tier, organizations implement a fully structured documentation framework, ensuring that investigation actions are consistently recorded, reviewed, and integrated into cybersecurity governance policies. Cybersecurity documentation is formalized, with leadership actively involved in reviewing investigation reports, ensuring forensic evidence is stored securely, and enforcing audit trail verification standards. A multinational cloud services provider at this stage may use blockchain-based forensic documentation to prevent tampering with investigation records, ensuring transparency and integrity in cybersecurity incident reporting. At the adaptive tier, organizations employ AI-driven forensic record-keeping, real-time documentation automation, and predictive investigation analytics to proactively track security incidents and continuously refine cybersecurity investigation workflows. Investigation documentation is fully integrated into enterprise security governance, ensuring that security teams use AI-powered case management platforms to generate automated reports, analyze historical forensic data, and improve cybersecurity risk assessment models dynamically. A global e-commerce platform at this level may use machine learning to categorize and analyze investigation records, identifying patterns in attack techniques and proactively adjusting security controls. Recording investigation actions aligns with multiple controls in the National Institute of Standards and Technology Special Publication 800-53, ensuring that organizations implement structured documentation methodologies and proactive cybersecurity forensic recording strategies. One key control is IR-5 incident monitoring, which requires organizations to track, log, and analyze all investigation actions taken in response to cybersecurity incidents. A healthcare provider implementing this control may use an automated forensic case management system to document all security investigations involving patient data breaches, ensuring compliance with health information security laws. Another key control is AU-7 audit record retention, which mandates that organizations store security investigation records for predefined periods to support compliance audits, forensic analysis, and post-incident reviews. A government agency implementing this control may retain forensic logs for multiple years to track long-term cyber threat trends and support legal proceedings related to past security incidents. Recording investigation actions also aligns with AU-6 audit review analysis and reporting, which requires organizations to analyze recorded investigation data, review security logs for accuracy, and generate structured reports for internal assessments and regulatory compliance. This control ensures that organizations not only collect forensic data, but actively use it to refine their cybersecurity strategies, detect attack trends, and improve incident response efficiency. A multinational financial institution implementing this control may leverage AI-driven analytics to review past investigation records, identifying recurring security weaknesses, and adjusting cyber defense measures accordingly. These controls can be adapted based on organizational size, industry, and cybersecurity maturity. A small business may implement basic investigation documentation procedures, ensuring that security teams manually log key investigation actions using spreadsheets or centralized incident response logs. A large enterprise may deploy AI-driven forensic record-keeping, real-time case management, and predictive analytics to ensure that documentation remains continuously refined and aligned with evolving cyber risks. Organizations in highly regulated industries such as finance, healthcare, and defense may require legally mandated forensic documentation frameworks, compliance-driven investigation reporting processes, and structured cybersecurity audit record retention policies to align with regulatory requirements. Auditors assess an organization's ability to record investigation actions by reviewing whether documented, consistently enforced, and automated forensic documentation frameworks are in place. They evaluate whether organizations implement predefined forensic recording standards, enforce structured cybersecurity case management policies, and integrate real-time security event documentation mechanisms into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance. If an organization fails to document security investigations effectively, auditors may issue findings highlighting gaps in cybersecurity risk management, weak forensic documentation execution, and failure to integrate structured investigation record-keeping into enterprise security frameworks. To verify compliance, auditors seek specific types of evidence. Incident documentation policy records and structured forensic investigation logs demonstrate that organizations formally define and enforce security incident recording standards, security event audit trails and automated forensic documentation reports provide insights into whether organizations proactively track, log, and analyze security threats based on predefined forensic documentation policies. AI-driven forensic record-keeping dashboards and predictive cybersecurity analytics show whether organizations effectively track, monitor, and refine forensic documentation strategies using real-world attack data and adaptive security controls. A compliance success scenario could involve a global cloud service provider that undergoes an audit and provides evidence that structured cybersecurity forensic documentation strategies are fully integrated into enterprise security governance, ensuring that all cybersecurity investigations are continuously monitored, classified, and recorded based on predefined documentation models. Auditors confirm that incident recording policies are systematically enforced, forensic documentation mechanisms are dynamically refined, and enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance frameworks align with structured security event logging models. In contrast, an organization that fails to implement structured documentation frameworks, neglects real-time forensic logging, or lacks formalized cybersecurity investigation recording workflows may receive audit findings for poor cybersecurity risk management, weak forensic documentation execution, and failure to align recording strategies with regulatory compliance mandate. Organizations face multiple barriers in ensuring that cybersecurity investigation documentation remains continuous and effective. One major challenge is failure to integrate forensic documentation into security monitoring tools, where organizations lack automated forensic record-keeping capabilities, leading to incomplete and inconsistent documentation. Another challenge is over-reliance on manual forensic documentation, where organizations fail to automate investigation record-keeping, resulting in time-consuming processes and potential data loss. A final challenge is difficulty maintaining documentation consistency across global operations, where organizations struggle to apply standardized forensic documentation policies across multiple subsidiaries. Organizations can overcome these barriers by developing structured cybersecurity forensic documentation frameworks, ensuring that investigation recording policies remain continuously optimized, and integrating real-time forensic analysis models into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance strategies. Investing in AI-driven forensic record-keeping, automated cyber risk documentation, and predictive security event logging tools ensures that organizations dynamically assess, monitor, and refine cybersecurity forensic documentation strategies in real time. Standardizing cybersecurity forensic investigation documentation methodologies across departments, subsidiaries, and external business partners ensures that cybersecurity forensic record-keeping policies are consistently applied, reducing exposure to unrecorded security incidents while strengthening enterprise-wide cybersecurity resilience. By embedding cybersecurity forensic documentation strategies into enterprise security governance frameworks, organizations enhance security investigation tracking capabilities, improve regulatory compliance, and ensure sustainable cybersecurity forensic record-keeping processes across evolving cyber risk landscapes. That wraps up today's discussion on framework. Don't stop here. Head over to cyberauthor.me to explore more cybersecurity topics and discover a best-selling book covering NIST and other critical cyber frameworks. Please like, rate, and review this episode on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, remember that knowledge is power.